Recorded them. Fine. Okay. Okay, so I just want to finish quickly with this one little calculation. So, so suppose we take a point P and M, and we take vectors V1 to Vk, tangent vectors in TPM, and we choose a singular K cube, which
You have
maps.
to share this.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Make me the host, and I'll share the screen. Yeah. So,
The host.
yeah. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So now, so we have P a point in M and V1 to Vk tangent vectors at P. And C, we're choosing to be a singular K cube, so that C0 is P and DC0 of EI is VI, right? So it looks something like this. Okay. So this is DC0 of E1 and so on. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to look at small cubes. So I'm multiplying my original cube by epsilon. Okay. So I get a small cube with sides epsilon, and then I look at the image of that small epsilon cube. Okay. So that will look something like this, tangent to these directions. And so what I mean is I define C epsilon of x to be C of epsilon x. Okay. X belongs to 0, 1 to the k, and 0 less than epsilon less than or equal to 1. Okay. So these will, as epsilon tends to 0, these will be very tiny cubes. All right. So now the idea is basically, if I look at the integral of omega over these tiny cubes, right, the tiny cubes will be almost tangent to the directions V1 to Vk. And so these should give me the value of omega at P acting on the vectors V1 to Vk times a factor epsilon to the k in the limit as epsilon tends to 0. Right, so let's just do this calculation. So what is this? This is integral over 0, 1 to the k. Omega at C epsilon of x of dc epsilon of E1 to dc epsilon. So this should be really at x. dc epsilon at x, dc epsilon at x of ek. Right? dx1 dxk. Now note, by the chain rule, what is dc epsilon at x of ei? This will be, by the chain rule, it will be just epsilon times dc at epsilon x of ei, right? Yes?
Yes.
So what will happen? I'll get basically an, this is integral over 0, 1 to the k. I'll get omega at the point C of epsilon x. And then inside I'll get epsilon dc at the point epsilon x of E1 up to epsilon dc at the point epsilon x of ek, right? dx1 dxk. So I have an epsilon factor in each of these terms, and omega is multilinear. So I'll get an epsilon to the k coming out, right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So what should I do? So this, when epsilon tends to 0, this is going to tend to 0, like a constant, something times epsilon to the k. So in order to get a finite limit, what I should do is divide by epsilon to the k, right? So let me look at 1 over epsilon to the k into this integral of omega over c epsilon. So then I'll get a 1 over epsilon to the k here. And I get a 1 over epsilon to the k here. This 1 over epsilon to the k will cancel with all these epsilons here. So then this will become integral over 0, 1 to the k omega at c of epsilon x dc epsilon x E1 dc epsilon x ek dx1 dxk. Okay. So what is this thing? This whole thing is what I was calling h, right? This is h of epsilon x, right? Yes?
Yes,
So
sir.
this converges uniformly as epsilon tends to 0 to h of 0. And what is h of 0? That is omega at c0 of dc0 E1. H is a continuous function. It's a smooth function because pullback of a smooth form is a smooth form. So this is dc 0 E1 up to dc 0 ek, which is nothing but omega p of v1 to vk, right? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So my integrand is converging to a constant. So the whole thing converges to just this constant, omega p of v1 to vk as epsilon tends to 0. Okay. So thus, I can get that the value of omega on any k tangent vectors, I can write as a limit of integrals over very small cubes, right? Omega p of v1 to vk is the limit epsilon tends to 0, 1 over epsilon to the k, integral over c epsilon of omega. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what do we get as a corollary? Corollary, omega element of omega kn, then integral of omega over c is 0 for all k cubes c, if and only if omega is 0. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Right. So that's what I wanted to say. So thus the map phi from omega km to the cochain CKM star, omega maps to L omega, which is the linear map on K chain. Sigma maps to integral omega over sigma. This is 1-to-1. Is this clear? Because its kernel is trivial. Kernel means an omega whose integral over all K chains is 0. So the integral over all K cubes is 0. So this integral over C epsilon is 0 for all K cube C. And so that means omega P of V1 to Vk is 0 for all vectors V1 to Vk and all points P. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. So let's stop here. So the point is that
Not necessarily subjective, right?
no, it won't be subjective. It won't be subjective, but at least it embeds into the space of the K forms embed into the space of K cochains. All right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's stop here. I mean, next time the idea is basically you have the boundary operator from CKM to CK minus 1M. So its dual will go from CK minus 1M star to CKM star, right? Yes? Just dual of vector spaces. So you have a dual linear map, right? So delta star, right, will go from CK minus 1M star to CKM star. And inside CK minus 1M star, you have the subspace of K minus 1 forms. Inside CKM star, you have the subspace of K forms. The question is, does delta star map K minus 1 forms to K forms, right? The dual of delta, does it preserve the subspaces of forms? Do you understand the question?
No, sir. Repeat this.
So maybe I should just write it. So now let me write it like this. So delta, let me write it as going from CK plus 1 M to CKM has a dual map, right? As a dual delta star. So this goes from CKM star to CK plus 1 M star, right? Yes?
Yes.
The dual goes in the
dual
opposite
map we are
direction
taking.
between the dual vector spaces, right? So
The
now
usual dual we are saying, right?
yeah, the usual dual, the dual of a linear map between two vector spaces, right? It's a linear map between the dual vector spaces, right? This everyone knows, right? It's just basic linear algebra.
Yes, yes.
Right? So delta star. So now can identify omega km with a subspace of CKM star, right? Yes?
Yes, yes.
And omega k plus 1m with a subspace of CK plus 1m star. Yes? So
Yes,
the
sir.
question is delta star of the K forms omega km contained in the K plus 1 forms omega K plus 1m. Okay, this is a natural question. Does the dual of the boundary map send K forms to K plus 1 forms? We know it sends K cochains to K plus 1 cochains. Sitting inside the K cochains are the K forms. Sitting inside the k plus 1 cochains are the k plus 1 forms. So does it send this subspace to this subspace? Is it clear? Now is the question clear?
Yes, yes.
All right. And the answer is yes. So we'll talk about this next time. And that will bring us to the exterior derivative, right, of differential forms. The answer is that this map, actually, this is true. And the map from omega km to omega k plus 1m given by delta star is nothing but the exterior derivative. And that will be the content of Stokes' theorem for chains on a manifold. Okay. So Stokes' theorem will essentially tells you that the dual of the boundary operator is the exterior derivative D. Okay. That's really what Stokes says in an abstract way of thinking about it. It tells you that the dual of the boundary operator is the exterior derivative when restricted to forms. I mean, okay, so we'll talk about this on Thursday then. So let's stop now.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? So is everyone familiar with Stokes' theorem for chains in Rn? This is something you did in your topology geometry 1 course and your multivariable calculus 1 course, right? Either in MMath or in JRF first year, right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
So everyone is familiar with Stokes' theorem for chains, right? In Rn, right? For cubes in Rn. Yes?
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, fine. So then we'll assume that and we'll proceed next time. So any questions? Any questions? About forms and integration or the boundary operator and so on? Okay, so then let's stop here and I'll see you on Thursday. Okay.